Dude, they got rocks, man. Just you have an alarm that's set for 2, and you still sleep past it. Fuck.
That's an alpha mindset right there.
I love Tim. I'm waiting for him to join. Let's see. You can join whenever.
Man,
Recording.
Could you imagine how many fucking memes there would be at the like OJ trial? Like
At the
there
OJ
were so
trial.
many memes that came out of this Kyle Rittenhouse trial.
Oh, that's what I was about to say. I was like, the OJ trial. Don't you mean the Rittenhouse trial? I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but I'm saying like, yeah, if you like went back in time, like that if the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
See, I find it funny that what is it? Hold on here. Let Propane's here. So welcome, Propane. We were just talking about you.
Oh my god, what were you saying?
We're saying that it's alpha that you had an alarm set for 2 in the afternoon and still slept through
it. Bro, listen. I wake up at like fucking 6 p.m., dude. My sleep schedule's fucked up, dude. Dude's rock, for real.
Hell yeah.
That's great.
For sure.
Shit's fucked up. No, I don't know. I've been having this problem where just like my alarms just like do not go off. Like they just don't.
Interesting.
No, it is. I thought that too, and then I realized that I was just reaching over and like tapping the screen, and it was just putting them back to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I probably do that in my sleep, but like the thing is, like I had one set for therapy the other day at like 11, and my dumbass, I went to sleep at like 7 or 8, and I was like, yeah, no, I'll definitely be up for my alarm in 3 hours. And then I woke up and it was like dark out, and I was like, oh. I was like, yeah, I slept through that shit for sure.
That rocks.
But
so are you a night owl now? You're nocturnal?
On accident, yeah. It started this summer, and then I got a job at Chipotle where I worked nights. I worked from like 2 to like 10, sometimes a little bit later.
Yeah.
And then I would get home.
Yeah, that's
or no, it was like 4 to 12. That was my normal shifts. 2 to 10, not really. It was like 4 to 12. And then I would like get home and like stay up all fucking night and then just sleep until my shift at 4. And then I just like got into a bad routine. So like I'm accidentally nocturnal. I'm in my nocturnal era.
Hell yeah.
The rules.
In my bad era.
I love
that's
it.
Cool, yeah.
All right, so let's get back to the Rittenhouse trial. So being brutally honest here, I don't even know what Kyle Rittenhouse did.
Are you?
No, I don't. I haven't been paying attention.
Dude, me either.
That's what I should have done.
I'm glad I'm not alone in that, because people will be like, Kyle Rittenhouse is the worst man. Like they'll call him like a shooter or something like that, and then I hear that maybe he didn't actually shoot people. So I'm confused on what he actually did.
He did. Okay,
he
no, all sides.
2 people. I think that's not up for like that one's not debatable.
Okay, so he did shoot someone.
Yeah. There's video of it, dude.
It's safe to say he shot.
That's pretty funny. So he got not guilty.
Off anybody by saying
so
that.
he got found not guilty when there's a video of him committing the crime.
Well, it was all about whether or not it was a crime. That's what people are all up in arms about.
Okay, so someone explain that.
I don't. Oh, sorry, you guys.
There was like multiple charges. One was that he brought the gun across state lines, which I guess they found out he actually drove across the lines, and then somebody gave him the gun, which is different.
He was a minor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know how the law worked for that.
So, like, they dismissed the gun under the age of 18 because there's this hunting law that has these exceptions. It's like super shittily written.
But does a hunting law apply when you're walking around?
No, it shouldn't. But the law is so like horribly written that you could make the argument, and they did, that it applies to everybody.
Well, you're not supposed to hunt at night,
not like exclusive. Right? I totally agree.
So where's the line there? Because it's like, how can you apply a hunting law?
I mean, there's a lot of people that go out hunting at like 2:00 in the morning.
That's completely illegal. That's poaching.
So
no, because at like 4 in the morning or whatever, that's when like the deers will walk through. They're like,
the sun has to come up.
So in other words,
This
this
is not up for
this guy
debate.
got away with murder.
I mean, like,
He
yeah.
killed people.
That rocks. I like it. I love it
I
that we
tweeted-
can have video of some guy killing someone and he gets away with it.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it, so I tweeted yesterday, Kyle Rittenhouse is a good guy, just misunderstood, like, as a joke.
I like it. I like it. Hey, I agree with that. Did you see that picture of him sobbing in the court? No man who sobs like that could be capable of killing people.
You know what? Agree.
Yeah. Nobody with a baby face will ever kill somebody.
Never.
Did you see that girl, and she tweeted, she was like, he's suffering from a PTSD attack with remorse. And everybody was like, girl, he killed people.
He has
Like,
PTSD over murdering someone.
Oh yeah, dude, that's the Marine route. I love that shit. I like took out an entire village, and I'm really in my sads about it.
Having Vietnam War flashbacks over your massacre at My Lai.
I love that he got off on International Men's Day too. Like,
That's even better. That's a dude's rock if I've ever heard one.
They let a woman be president for one day. One day, and somebody got off on murder, and that's all we need to know.
Yeah, this is all Kamala's fault.
hey,
Give
is she
power
actually,
back.
So wait,
I've been seeing-
was she
yeah.
in control that day?
Yeah,
Like technically for a
like a
couple
few
hours.
hours.
That's funny.
they took her off after that? They said nah.
Because I know
Not
she's
after that.
been like reclusive as well. Like she's like the boogeyman. No one's seen her.
Oh, she's just been, dude.
Mhm.
We just hang out.
We chill, smoke some weed. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we smoke some weed, watch a bunch of Netflix, and whatever.
Yeah.
Yada yada yada.
Order DoorDash, hang out.
That was funny though, because she made like a statement about the Rittenhouse thing. I saw that video where she comes up before getting in plane, and she's like, "It says a lot that our court system needs work." And like the top tweet on it was like, "This is the person that's put away the most minorities for minor offenses, telling people that the court system needs change."
Yeah, she's so funny. Like she used to be so the opposite of the way she talks right now.
She like
It's,
she's like convicted like the most people on marijuana charges, hasn't she? It was
yeah,
something
in,
like that.
California too, and it was like before I think they like fully legalized it.
Hmm.
There was definitely a bunch of minor drug charges.
She was putting parents in prison because their kids weren't going to school. She was like, "That's what you have to do," and she was laughing about it.
Of
like,
course,
in front of-
she's got that demon laugh.
Yeah.
How does it just her and Hillary have a laugh that makes you like think of a bubbling cauldron?
It's women in
Only-
politics. It's literally just
No,
women
only
in politics.
evil people. You have to be evil to want to be a politician.
Oh yeah.
Like
So,
to want that kind of power and to like be in charge of things, like bad bad person.
There used to be this idea of like John Smith goes to Congress and he's like the small town guy who got elected, and so he's gonna stick it to the corporate bureaucrats or whatever. You know, like this is a very like ideal noble
Old
image.
black and white movie.
But yeah, but that doesn't exist anymore. Those people will
I don't
take
know if
one
it
look
ever
at that and go,
really
"No, I would never want to
existed.
be involved in politics." Like the only people who get involved are just evil.
yeah, the people that run for office should be in prison, and then the people who hate the idea of running for office should be like forced to serve for a year.
Actually, look at it this way. So you know how like a bunch of politicians have like a military service record? In order for a politician to run or be elected, they have to have a prison rap. They have to have been incarcerated at least at one time in their life.
Yeah, this country's already careening off a cliff, so honestly I think we should try every Hail Mary at this point.
Yeah.
And that's what if we give the prisoners the keys?
Yeah,
I
why not?
would be in favor of judging the presidents on like sort of a panel of things, including like physical tests.
Oh
I
yeah,
wanna see
penis
them-
size.
Survive a week in the wilderness. They need to be able to do 20 pull-ups.
You want to see Joe Biden on Naked and Afraid?
I need to see a president with a 5-minute mile, or else I just don't trust that they're ready.
Yeah, we
All
do
the
need like
presidents become Kenyan.
we do need like another supermodel president. or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, because what was it? The last like quote unquote hot president was JFK, and he's not that good looking, but for the time he
Well,
was.
you're going a whole different route with that. I'm saying
okay.
like tough president. You're like you want a hot
Yeah,
president.
I'm saying that we need a president that is like a fucking Superman type. We need Superman as president.
Okay, so yeah, Kim's saying basically we need a GQ Superman,
Yeah.
and Turbo's saying we need a guy that can win in a hand-to-hand combat.
He
Listen.
needs to know. He needs to be able to box.
I don't care if the president commits war crimes. He just needs to look like a superhero, and that way we can at least justify believing that he's a good person.
You know what? I agree.
I think we should just lean into the war crime stuff more. There's so much untapped potential there.
Oh yeah.
And we could do this whole like, what the fuck are you gonna do anyway kind of thing. That that would be hilarious.
All right, Tim. So if you had to name a favorite war crime, what's your favorite war crime that we've committed? We'll go with that. We're leaning into
Okay.
war crimes now.
I'm gonna be so honest. I am really, really stupid, and I honestly like don't even know like what would be considered as a war crime.
Okay.
I'm like very unaware of what's happening in the world.
It's-
So like, give me some examples, and I'll pick a favorite.
Okay, so
Waterboarding,
the
shooting
Jordanian pilot
civilians.
Using gas, mustard
got
gas
caught by
now is a
ISIS.
war crime. You know, think of like My Lai, where like a U.S. soldier's going in and just murdering civilians because they think they're enemies. You know,
White
stuff like that.
phosphorus.
Like if something,
Charlie in the tree.
think of like an event of like think of soldiers or the army doing something that you think is bad, and that's a war crime. Like it's pretty
Abu
easy to
Ghraib
identify them.
is a war crime, like where we were like torturing and electrocuting prisoners of war.
Was like the MK Ultra thing? Was that a war crime?
No, that was on our own civilians,
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
including and not
Um,
limited to Ted Kaczynski.
Okay.
But not limited.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about like basic history because I did a lot of bars in high school on accident and kind of just like didn't retain on accident
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
retain any information and
That
I'm
rocks.
really stupid now.
You can
So-
get into a little bit of a cycle with bars where you forget you taken them and then you take more.
Yeah.
And then you forget you took those, and yeah.
Yeah, it was not good. I did not retain any like basic high school information. Like people will like talk about like basic like human history, and I'm like, nah, dude, I'm lost here.
You're
I
probably
would
better off
probably
like that though.
Oh, it's great. It's so peaceful to be so unaware.
Yeah, because like in high school, the only thing you learn about in history is the Holocaust and slavery, and you can get
Yeah,
those
I
pretty much
don't-
by yourself.
We went to like 4 plantations. I swear, I didn't even know there's that many fucking
Yeah.
plantations.
I remember
Yeah,
English
well, you were
class
in
was always
Tennessee.
reading like Holocaust literature as well. So even the English classes were, they're always Holocaust literature, like Huckleberry Finn. It's just something like that. They just drill that
It's
shit
centered
into your
around
head.
something, yeah, that's already.
I remember in middle school we read To Kill a Mockingbird, and I was like, why
Oh,
are we
yeah.
reading this?
Yeah, it's just because
rogue.
like they have a trial against a black dude. That's the only significance it has as a
Well,
story.
it's actually like probably one of the most correct like depictions of white women in literature.
Probably.
Because she like just had sex with a black guy and like kind of assaulted him. And then she
Wait,
felt bad
she has
about
sex
it.
with that dude?
Yeah.
And To
She-
Kill a
she like
Mockingbird?
basic. Yeah.
I don't
And
remember that.
she gets and he gets accused of like raping her. And
Oh, I forgot. You mean the one? Okay, I thought you meant the main character because I was about to say I was like the main
No,
character is a
not
fucking
Atticus.
child.
The
What the
person he's
fuck are you
defending.
talking about?
Atticus Finch
Main
raped his
character,
daughter.
12 years old.
I was like, you're telling me that the book? I was like, I don't remember that part, and I've read the book like 3 times.
No, it's just like these crazy ass white women. She felt bad about having sex with this dude and basically like wanted him hung.
Yeah. Well, it's also the stigma. So like, so no white woman can get by in society by saying like she willingly had sex with a black dude in that like period. Like she would automatically be like labeled a whore.
Yeah,
I just don't know why they made a group of sixth graders read it. Like, why? Like,
it
I
is
didn't.
such a
Because
weird
it
fucking
is.
story.
It's
to,
fun for the
like,
teachers to hear the kids read the N word.
Yeah,
That's basically it. They just want to hear them
It's
read
like,
the
it's
N-word.
okay. This is a safe place. I'm
Yeah.
like, you're
I
not
think
saying
the-
that.
The official
do
position
that.
of our teacher was like, you can say it if you want to.
If you
Everybody
want
wanted to. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
It was
like,
like
More than half the class is
2008.
dropping it for sure.
I love it.
Yeah, we do that popcorn shit where you read aloud. Yeah, that's a wild ass story.
Dude, I love the what is it? I love like the implications of Anne Frank's diary because like people forget that her dad is what who like marketed the diary. And so I like this idea of like her dad just stumbling on her diary and being like, I can sell this. Like his first
Not a good look.
is like his
Not a good look as far as enforcing stereotypes. I mean,
yeah, it's like it's not like his first
This is
indication was not like
entertainment.
let me hold on and cherish this for years and then like release it afterwards. Like no, it wasn't it released like shortly after World War II ended.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
So it's like you know that he found it and immediately was like, let me put this on the market. I can make some money off this.
Let me exploit this.
My
This is
daughter
somebody
died in the
else's.
Holocaust. Let me exploit her diary and especially the chapter about her fucking fingering herself. God.
Yeah, this is entertainment. You guys should buy this. This is entertainment.
Yeah.
That reminds me of that tweet. It's not mine. I can't remember who said it, but it's like Anne Frank having her diary read by everybody is everybody's biggest fear, and then her not being able to cash in on it is every Jew's biggest fear.
Oh yeah. It's
my
her
God.
dad that's cashing in on it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You know what was I found out recently? It's interesting. So I didn't know like this is kind of in the realm of war crimes. Keeping on with the topic. So how I don't know how much you guys know about Putin and like what he's doing over in Russia, but like so
Absolutely nothing.
yeah. So I've recently
Riding a
have been
horse
like getting
further.
involved in like Soviet history and kind of like how does the political stuff with like the Soviet Union affect today? And basically once the Soviet Union fell, it created this Russian like diaspora in all these countries like Kazakhstan,
You mean diaspora?
Ukraine, diaspora, whatever. And but these there's now all of a sudden a Russian minority in all these nations, and so the reason why people always ask like why does Putin want to like invade the Ukraine or take Crimea or whatever, his reasoning is the exact same as Hitler's for like invading Czechoslovakia. He says there's a Russian minority in there and I have to go in and get them.
Liberate them.
Yeah, Putin is literally pulling like a Hitler logic, like I just gotta liberate these minorities in this part of the world.
He's not stupid at all, man. He was like former KGB, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he was.
And
He was in
Yeah,
he's
kinda-
Dresden working with the Stasi when the Soviet Union fell.
he is a Stasi, a little turd. I love him for it. You know, good luck to him.
Yeah,
Good luck
dude.
to him.
Yeah, I love it. You know what I
I'd
also
him to
love?
be my
So
president.
when East Germany fell, the Stasi like archives were opened, and it implicated like 30,000 West Germans of being like involved and helping the East German government. So I love like this. So we think of like South Korea being this like this glorious like democracy or whatever. But part of the reason why I think North Korea hasn't fell is because I think a large number of South Koreans would be like, indicted on war crimes and like aiding North Korea.
Oh, I'm sure. You know, when families got split up like that, I'm sure that almost has to be baked into it.
Yeah.
You know that there's going to be some mutual aid going on.
Yeah, because every time these dictatorship countries fall, they always like implicate their like a bunch of people that are their closest neighbor, like their border state.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
For sure.
Dude, why would you be up in Russia though? That's the question no one's really asking. Maybe that's why Putin wants to invade people. It's not like some Machiavellian like strategy. It's just it'd be fucking cold up there.
They like it. They prefer that,
Yeah.
actually.
Well, I heard something interesting as well. So apparently the Communist Party of Russia, like that party still exists. They're apparently very, very popular within Russia right now. But because Putin just has such an iron hold on Russia right now that it's like there's just no chance in hell that they're going to take power. But there's a lot of people that think that they will after he like dies or something, which will be a long while from now.
So we need to execute him.
You wouldn't need like some stupid.
And that's a promise.
ideology.
That's
a
dude's rock promise.
A dude's rock.
Wait,
promise.
is that illegal? Is it? Hold on. Before we say it, is it illegal to?
I think it's illegal to threaten a world leader.
But not our leader. You know,
I think it's still a problem. I think it is still a problem.
All right, we won't say it then. Never mind.
What we'll say is we think that the CIA should pull a little bit of their Cold War tactics when they would infiltrate and send in people to assassinate leaders. We'll just promote that. I think the CIA has some work that they ought to be doing right now in Russia.
But I could do it with like a credit card and like a knife.
Would it be illegal to say the phrase "I'm going to kill the Chinese president Xi Jinping"?
Yes, I think it would be a problem.
I'm plotting to implicate the United States in the assassination attempt of Xi Jinping.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
You can't say that. You should never say I'm going to assassinate Xi Jinping.
You should never say that.
Don't say that. Never say that.
Jesus Christ, we're gonna get clipped by the Chinese agents.
Chinese agent's gonna show up at your house. Excuse me, I would like to talk to you about what you said on your Dudes Rock podcast.
Some Chinese Jews are gonna show up in Turbo's part of the Jewish neighborhood of New York and just be like and try and talk to him about Judaism, but they're really there to kill him.
The Orthodoxes would spot them in a minute and know that something's fishy. There's no way.
Consent wouldn't be the same.
They're a closed community. They know each other. They'd know that those are not real Jews.
You're not part of the real tribe.
Let's see. What's going on in the games right now? I've been paying attention.
They all suck.
Yeah, they are.
Ohio State's beating the brakes off Michigan State.
Yeah, that's a given. It's 49-0.
Dude, they were talking about this game like, oh, maybe Michigan State will. No.
They do that though. I think they have
they have to.
I think they have to hype it up. Like no commentators can get up and be like, yeah, Alabama, they're going to fucking stomp these guys.
You guys shouldn't even be watching this.
Yeah, they're like, you're literally wasting your time. You should like go outside and throw a football your own, and that will be more entertaining than the game that you're about to watch right now.
I'd love that. Just a guy who's paid to promote a show, just telling people to go outside and touch some grass.
That seems like it would be a very profitable, independent podcast idea. So like a sports podcast, but the whole premise is that he just tells you exactly what. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. So he'll give you like the sports facts, but rather than trying to hype up the game, he'll just tell you like this game is going to blow. It's going to be horrible, and it's going to be no contest. You should watch something else.
There's some people that shoot it straight and then have no skin in the game.
He's just like, yeah, this Georgia, you're facing Georgia, got no chance.
Yeah, hit next. Maybe there's something.
They're like, you're better off watching golf today, buddy.
Propane, you a sporting man? You play golf? Turbo was just calling us gay for liking golf.
Me and Chicken are golfers.
It is.
I don't play sports. I'm trans. Trans people don't play sports.
Okay.
Golf isn't a sport anyway. It's just a way.
I thought there was like a growing number of trans athletes though.
I mean, like, yeah, but like most of us, we don't do that.
Okay. I'm glad that our first guest is also trans. That gives us a better image too.
It gives us a pass.
It gives us a very good image right now. For fast forward like 20 episodes when one of us forgets to like edit out like a hard R N word on accident, this will give us our pass.
They're like, no, it's fine. They had a trans guest, guys. It's
Yeah,
fine.
like 6 weeks ago we had a trans.
When someone drops like a slur against trans people on accident on here, they'll look to this episode and they'll be like, nope, they support trans people.
You guys need
All
a slur. You
All
need a
about
good.
for you guys.
There needs to be a slur for trans people.
Well, actually,
there
okay.
are,
Serious
dude.
question though, for
I
propane.
think there
on this.
are.
Yeah. So serious question: is tranny actually considered a slur now? Because I remember growing up that was just like a term. You know, I mean, like no one used that as a slur.
It doesn't sound nice. Like it doesn't
I mean,
sound like.
Well, it doesn't have a good sound.
If
It doesn't have a good sound
someone
to it.
called me that, if someone called me that in a malicious way, I'd be like, "Damn, bro, that's kind of fucked up." But like,
Yeah.
amongst friends and other trans people, it's more just like it's kind of like calling your gay friend like
A
a
soft
faggot,
A.
like if you're
Oh,
gay.
okay, so
yeah.
it's like your soft A N word.
Yeah, exactly. You're like,
Be mentioned,
What's
yes.
up, my fellow tranny?
no, literally, like you just like walk up to your trans friends, you're like, "Yeah, what's up, tranny?" It's fine.
That
It's good.
rocks.
Good.
It does rock. It's pretty fun.
Well, we got to come up with a better slur.
Yeah, we do.
Nah, for real. There needs to be like a good slur for trans people, like
If
one
we're
that
gonna
really.
include trans people.
I think it's
in everyday
transphobic that there
life,
isn't a
They
good
need a good
slur.
slur like the rest.
That's
of
what
us.
I'm saying. Yeah, I totally
It's
agree
like
with that.
they couldn't spend. You know, you hate them so much you didn't even spend enough time coming up with a good slur.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Like that's
love.
the epitome of
That's love.
transphobic right there.
That is low. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel a little left out that like there's not like a good hidden slur, you know?
Yeah. I don't.
So if there were to be a slur, what do you think would be like a good, like off the top of your head, like what is something that you think could work as a slur?
Habsy.
Havesy?
You know what? I don't like he she. That was
He-she's,
bad.
I think
That's-
he-she's a pretty,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a slur now. I could agree with that.
Well, what if it
Yeah,
goes?
I think that's
what
I
is-
think
is-
that's the transgender
Here's
slur.
a question: does he hit a little differently?
Ooh, that's a
Yeah,
good
that
question.
one kind of hit a little bit actually.
Because I remember he-she used to always be like in reference to just like a lady boy or something like that. Like you would call like a Thai lady boy a
I think
he-she.
a lady boy would be.
I
a
love
slur.
Lady
I
Boy.
actually-
That
I
is such
worked-
a funny one.
Lady
I
boy
love
is
I
another
worked
one
at a-
that could be a slur, I think.
That's what I
Yeah.
just said. You're uncovering them just by talking about
Yeah,
trans
we're
people.
finding these slurs.
You said there were no slurs. There's tons
worked-
of them. You're saying them.
But okay,
Lady Boy
in my
seems like a
defense
nice
though,
one.
like when you don't think of something as being a slur, it's hard for it to register it. Because like I said before, you know, when you grow up, if these words are just words that have no like negative connotation in your head, they still, you know what I mean? Like I've never heard them used in a malicious way.
Yeah, that's the thing is, yeah, you've only heard them as an actual description rather. It's like when old people still use the N word, and they're like, "No, that's just what I call them."
That's just what I
Like,
call
no,
them.
no, it's like a bad word.
I worked at a summer camp this past summer, and one of the kids called me a he she species, and I was like,
Ooh.
I was like,
Oh, wow.
oh, that's a new. I was like,
Yeah.
no one has ever fucking like been like outright like blatantly transphobic towards me, and I was like, damn, my first time getting called a slur was by an 8-year-old.
The rhyme, anything that
Fuck.
adds rhythmic or rhyming, it that takes it to another level.
But hey,
Yeah,
wouldn't
for
wouldn't
real.
it being an 8-year-old make it kind of more of like a comedic experience in some ways?
It was.
Yeah, because it's like
was
you know
fucking-
they're like 8 years old. Like you can't go up there and fight them.
Yeah,
I
comedy
just
gold
kind
is
of
what
laughed,
kids
and I
learn.
was like, please don't say that to me
Yeah.
or anyone.
You can't be like offended by somebody that can't even tie their own fucking shoes.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
kids are brutal like that because they know that like
Yeah.
adults aren't gonna like square up with them and try and
Sometimes they don't even know what they're like. Sometimes they literally have no idea what they're saying too.
But
and it can be
sometimes
the
they
most
do, and they
brutally,
just-
like hard shit.
But sometimes they do, and they just know they're gonna get away with it.
It's like there's like a newspaper article. It's like local trans man fired from summer camp for beating the brakes off an 8-year-old.
Fuck.
Putting them in a fucking guillotine choke and just squeezing the life out of them.
You little shit. I'll show you tolerance, you little. Yeah, kids
You'll
swearing,
beat the
beating up
straight
kids.
right out of them when you're finished with them.
Yeah,
They
beat
won't
the
be
cis
straight
out of
anymore.
them.
Yeah, they won't be cis anymore when you're through with them.
Let's go.
Beat his ass into a new gender.
Yeah. So just to clarify though, so are you female to male or male to female? Just to get it like squared away. Okay, cool.
Female to male, yeah.
All right, I'm glad we got that because I was like, we can boast about having a trans person on here, but we got to get it straight.
You got to get it right.
We got to get it right. It's like we can't start just like calling you the wrong pronouns.
And it's just wrong.
Yeah, literally. Oh yeah, we have a trans person on here. Just starts misgendering.
Yeah. For sure.
Just bragging about it and immediately falling on our faces. So.
That sounds like something like a sports network would do. They'd be like, "Oh, we've got our first trans commentator," and the two old guys that have been around there since like 1970 just can't get it right.
Oh my God! Did you see College Game Day today? They had a Down syndrome kid that kicks field goals.
I saw that. I fucking saw that.
That's exactly what they did. Like you
literally
just called it.
Yeah, College Game Day had a Down syndrome kid that kicks field goals.
Listen, I don't want to put the kid down, but aren't these supposed to be student athletes? How's he going to college?
Bro, apparently he's got his degree. It's probably in like bubbling or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever they do.
They had him hype up the Ohio State crowd too.
Oh yeah, he was like doing these TikTok dances, and he actually was doing them pretty good.
Yeah,
but it's just this gesture.
Dudes rock.
Love that kid. It's like one of those things where it's not supposed to be funny. It's meant to be like, wow, look at this kid. He's being so successful in like the social world, but it's like, it's really funny.
Oh my God.
It's such a freak show kind of like concept.
Well,
like,
I don't know if we should call him a freak show. I think
No,
that's a little too far.
No, like, you know, they used to have like freak shows, and it's like, and that it was actually like mean, and like people would just go and gawk at them. It's like that's what it turns into, but they're meant to be like really nice.
Yeah.
And like, oh my God, can't you believe this kid's overcome so much?
Just to clarify, we do not think people
He's a freak.
Are freaks.
He's a mongoloid.
I mean, we're sitting here boasting about how good this episode is.
Inclusive.
And we're like calling people freaks.
You know, apparently he can take it. He's a big tough boy.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, I'm watching the video. So what's hilarious is like, for the games, he's actually out there with like gloves and shit on, even though he's only kicking.
Oh yeah, they got him all dressed up.
Constantly next to his special teams coach, just like shadowing him.
Yeah.
It is okay. That's also kind of funny and ironic that the first special needs player is
a special teams
player.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Love it. God,
I'm ready for like a Down syndrome linebacker. Have you ever seen how strong those kids are?
Oh yeah, those kids would crush.
Oh my God, it's like superhuman, man. They could bend steel. And
honestly, I'm shocked that hasn't come around yet. Because okay, so we're talking a lot today about like the effects of a football career and how it affects the players. You know, like some of them they suffer from like
dumber.
Yeah, they get dumber.
Like what is brain damage?
They suffer from brain damage. So like, why not take these incredibly strong people? Like Down syndrome people are incredibly strong who already are a little bit slow in the mental factor and just throw them out on the field.
Coordination.
I think usually they have an aggressiveness issue. They're always so happy and nice. I don't know if you could be a ferocious linebacker as a
I
Down
don't know.
syndrome.
Have you ever seen like a Down syndrome person get like really mad?
Yeah,
but you gotta work them up.
Yeah.
You gotta work them up. When I was a kid, we had this kid named Julian that was pretty slow on my football team, but he was big. He was strong, but he was like wimpy. And in the games, the coaches would like get him really riled up, like to the point where he's like crying.
Yeah,
he'd run out on the field, and for like 2 or 3 plays, he'd be the biggest fucking animal you've ever seen.
Emotionally
monkey mode.
It's like winding up a toy. You wind him up, and he goes out there, and then he kind of runs out of power. You got to rewind him up again.
Like tears.
They just start yelling at him again. He's like crying. They're like, "All right, get back out there."
there would be tears going down his face, and he'd be like red face. He'd go out there and he'd like drill people for like 3 plays,
Damn.
and then he'd run back off, and he'd need to like cool off and like cry for a little bit.
Oh my God.
So you had to use
Hell
him
yeah.
strategically, and they'd be like, "Come on, Julian, get mad!" They'd surround him and start yelling at him before he goes on the field.
Jesus Christ.
Turns out this kid wasn't slow at all. He's just like a normal football player.
Oh yeah, it's just like some guy that they're bullying.
He's not even a football player at all. They're just like just have him there to take out
And then they're
their.
like a little
His
kamikaze.
parents, no. So what it is his parents think he's special needs because he's not like the tough son that they always wanted. So they like paid the football team to like, you know, throw him in the games, and they're treating him like he's special needs just because his parents told him that he is. It's
Yeah,
just
that's
like a
awesome.
shy kid.
Thinking your kid's retarded because he likes like art and film.
Yeah, you're like, all right, my kid's special.
So this he's broken. The kid likes to read books. I don't know what
His
the fuck
dad
is
has
wrong.
like this
wrong with
dream
this
of his
damn
son
kid.
like being like a college football quarterback or whatever, you know, making it to the NFL afterwards. And he's just like, we just got to put him through this. Like, I know if we put him through enough of this, he'll grow to love it.
Dad, I hate you.
It's like that's how he says he loves us. He gets things backwards sometimes. We learned that Julian, he says the opposite of what he means all the time.
He's finding like a bunch of film and literature books underneath his mattress.
They're like, Julian, what
the
is
hell
this?
What did I tell you about this?
Julian, I thought we were through with this.
Is this a script? Are you getting into plays again?
You know, sick and depraved people do this, Julian. Sick people.
You know those sick people over in Hollywood that write this stuff? They touch little boys like you to get you to play in their stories. You don't want to be involved with them.
These are bad people, Julian.
He's like, they like show him a picture of like Harvey Weinstein dating basis and like try and scare him with it.
Yeah, does this look like a good person to you, Julian? This looks like a ghoul.
Yeah, this
The
is
fat
like
goblin.
a person.
I love that this is all based off of a real human being. that exists.
Yeah.
Poor Julian.
And to be fair, you
Julian's
guys
had
are
a
not-
wild life.
he grew up fine. Like I knew him all the way through
Okay,
high school
that's
and
good.
everything.
I'm happy for
He
Julian.
never ended up playing football past like elementary school though, because I think to be honest, it was probably like a traumatic experience.
Oh, I thought we were talking about like high school football. Okay, that changes
Yeah, I
everything.
didn't- This was like elementary school.
Okay, I
It
thought it
makes
was
it
like
so
them
much
bullying
better.
like a high school kid or something.
Yeah, that
No,
actually
but-
makes it so much better, Turbo.
And I know Chicken knows, like, this was a different era of football,
Yeah.
too. Like, they would tell you to use the crown of your helmet.
Yeah.
I remember, like, almost every single play, coaches would have us chop blocking and shit. Like, that
Oh god.
totally illegal. Things were way different. So they were turning this kid into, like, a weapon.
Oh, if you could hurt an opposing player, even at a young age, that was really good. Like you got commended for it. Like you knocked him out
Yeah.
of the game. Good job.
Yeah, they're like, good fucking hit. Lowest man wins. Get your head down. Now they're like, that's how you make yourself, like, completely retarded.
Paralyzed.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, it used to be the quarterback's fault if he threw the ball to an area where the receiver got his head taken off. It used to be like, well, the quarterback really left him out to dry there. Now it's like, oh, you shouldn't do that. There's no responsibility in this world. Where's my country gone?
Where my country gone? You know what's funny is I've never been like that big into South Park, but I recently got into it, and I've noticed that like all the later episodes they have like this very nuanced story that's meant to be like an analogy for like current issues. So one of them is like
Yeah.
these aliens coming back in time. And they're all like this. They're like, so they say all these aliens are mixed race, but they look kind of tan, like they're Mexicans, and they're taking everyone's
Like
jobs.
the gay pile episode, yeah.
Yeah, they're taking everyone's jobs. So it's like they're talking about these aliens coming over and taking everybody's jobs, and it's like you know that they're Mexicans, but they're not saying they're Mexicans.
Yeah, they do. They normally will take like a subject and then take an extreme position on each side and show how like kind of ridiculous both of them are.
Yeah.
And They'll find somewhere in the middle there to
Yeah, because
to
like
end it
the
on.
right side is all these rednecks saying like they're taking our jobs, and then on the left side they call them aging liberal hippie. It's like this middle school, like this middle age hippie dude that like never quite left Woodstock.
So funny.
I love it.
That's what like everybody in Denver's like now is kind of that guy. Have you guys been
Aging
there
liberal
before?
hippie.
It is crazy.
I've heard that it's like I always wanted to go there or even live there. Like it seems cool, but now it's so hipster and like I don't know.
The weed stuff's cool.
Yeah, but I feel like the weed just drove in the most annoying people
It
in
kind
the
of
world.
did. I've heard
They
that.
had like a crazy homeless thing too.
It's like craft beer guys, right? Like there's just certain people I just don't want to be around.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
just
that's a great analogy.
you're not fun to talk to.
Well, I remember. So you know, like the old people who live in Colorado, like they must hate the whole weed legalization thing. Because I remember talking with one dude that was like, "Dude, it's horrible. I used to wake up every morning and like go out and smell the fresh air, and now I woke up one morning, there's some dude like sitting right outside my lawn, like smoking pot." He was just like, he was talking to me like he was actually about to like blow his brains out. Like he seems so depressed about it.
That was the first state to legalize it, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know.
Well, kind of. California went like medical
They
first,
did
but
medical for a while, yeah.
but Colorado like opened the door to the whole thing
Right,
first.
Yeah, and what they
Yeah.
did though is they did a good job with it though, because they completely put all that weed money into like investing in their education system, which is kind of funny, but it's still
Kind of ironic.
smart.
Yeah.
Still smart.
It's the same thing with the lottery thing they do in Tennessee. Like, you know, all that lottery goes towards like a scholarship for when you graduate college. If you have over a B average, they'll like give you, pay for 40% of your scholarship or some shit.
That rocks.
It's just like a sin tax, but they make it good.
Is weed like it's like legal in like most states now, right?
A good number.
It's legal here.
The
In New
weed
York?
issue is underscores
Oh.
like how fucked up
Oh, I
our
didn't know that.
political system is, because like
It's
it's still
legal
a
in New York.
federal like offense. It's still like federally against the law, but all these states have legalized it. So technically, the DEA could come in and be like assholes,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just like they haven't changed the law yet. And I don't understand. Maybe politicians. Well, most people that vote are old, and a lot of old people still don't like weed.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what.
Well, and I love how I love Biden's stance on weed. It's very like, it's still like him clearly showing that he's not really on board, but he just wants to get like the support still. Because I remember back when all the states like started legalizing weed. Maybe it was Kamala that said this, which makes it even more ironic if so. But it was it was one of them saying like, a lot of research needs to be done still on the effects of marijuana over time, but it is time to start opening.
We know the effects
doors.
over time.
It's like
That's the fucking dumbest argument. We know the effects over time because
know.
people have been smoking it for like 5,000 years.
yeah, and so it's like
Like,
it was
like-
them like using an excuse to like delay federally legalizing
Yeah.
it, but still like trying to take some sort of stance that's like we hear you. It was really bad.
There are
So-
tons of old people that have smoked from start to finish their whole life, and they're no worse off than anybody else.
Yeah, it's like we know that opioids are fucking horrible after a long period of time, and it doesn't seem to have really changed our position on them being legal, at least medically.
Well, I think it's funny that like because alcohol is like arguably more. Well, no, it's
Oh,
no
it-
argument.
it
Like it
is.
is more damaging to
Yeah.
the system than weed is.
Oh. It rots your body away. Like
Yeah.
old alcoholics,
Mhm.
there's just something off about them. They like
Yeah. That's like an
get that
empty
wet
shell.
brain. Yeah, like
Alcohol is literally like a corrosive substance, and it's like you're putting that into your body over and over and over, and it's like, why is that legal? But like you can't smoke a little weed or like fucking take some shrooms or something. Like it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Well,
I
I mean,
just don't-
next.
it doesn't help the
I can't wait
stereotype
till
as well,
they
though. 'Cause-
legalize.
Do what?
I said that's next. I can't wait till they legalize psychedelics. That'd be
That would be
sweet.
awesome.
They should at least medically do that, man. Apparently, it helps people with epilepsy and like dementia and shit.
Mm-hmm. Tim, we were
Yeah,
going to go
no,
on a
that's
drug
pretty
podcast
special
together
point.
before we realized that it was
We were.
super racist.
Oh my God,
And we were going to talk
yeah.
about our experiences with acid. I remember that.
So what
Yes.
what happened there? I think you guys were talking about it right when I got on, but can you explain what?
I think Tim should explain it because he was actually like around for it.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it was like a gay dude. I couldn't tell, but because their voice was like, I couldn't tell just from the voice, and they never told me. But I'm just gonna say they. So they like messaged me, and they were like, "Oh yeah, like you can come on my podcast, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Okay, sweet," because like I'd never been on a podcast before, so I was like, "Oh, this is actually my first podcast, so thank you guys for having
For
me. I
sure.
appreciate it." But I was like, "Yeah, dope. Let me check it out." So they sent me the link or whatever. I didn't really listen to it, to be honest. I just kind of like skimmed through it. It was basically them just like talking about like being like a recovering addict and stuff. And I'm like, all right, whatever. But then they like messaged me and they were like, "Oh, by the way, we like say the hard R and like other racial slurs and
Jesus
stuff like a
Christ.
lot." Like, and I was like, I am not comfortable associating with that. Never mind, like, sorry. And then they just like sent me a bunch of memes and they were like, "All right, pussy, faggot," and I was like, okay, like,
Oh, whoa.
I mean, I definitely get it. Like, it's you don't understand. Like, it's not not your cup of tea. Like,
yeah,
it's,
like,
you know.
I'm not gonna go on a podcast where you're like saying the hard R every other sentence. Like, I'm
Yeah.
okay. Like, I
I
don't
would
need
just feel
that.
uncomfortable with
I
that.
don't
And
need
then
to
there's,
be
like,
no
the
one
flip
should.
as well. Like, if you're saying that stuff all the time, you're kind of just forcing.
Well, and like Propane, weren't you saying that like they were using it like in a way where it wasn't even like a joke? Like they're just saying the word.
Right.
Yeah, they're just like throwing it around like they would the word bro or something. Like,
Yeah. That's what kind of we were talking about earlier is like it's funny like no one can claim ignorance to that kind of stuff today considering that how much like that shit is drilled into kids' heads now.
yeah.
Yeah, it's normally with that stuff you can tell if there's like malice or like I don't know. I hate the idea of just using it just to use it.
Yeah, no, and like the thing about it is like they had a southern accent. Do with that what you will.
Oh,
Like,
in Alabama.
Well,
yeah.
I'm down here in
I mean, I grew up
Alabama,
in Tennessee,
sitting here with my fellow, just throwing down the N-word.
Literally.
But-
yeah, that happens.
Well, you know what's funny is that like I knew that they must have been some weird people when I first like looked at her profile because it was like Trump 2024 psychedelic podcast. It was like crack and like her pin tweet was like crack whore Tuesdays. I was like, okay, these people are on something. I was
The
like,
morals are just everywhere. Just
All over
so...
the
I was like, yeah, they're all over the place. But I like disappeared for a week just because I was like busy as fuck and I just wasn't checking Twitter. So I like randomly like opened it back up and I couldn't find them anywhere. So I hit you up, Propane. I was like, whatever happened to these people?
Yeah, no, got suspended. No surprise there.
Yeah, no shock.
Yeah, well, I after I got the messages, I was like, oh my god, I need to send this to Kim. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then I just like got sidetracked with something.
Yeah.
And like then I totally forgot about it until you hit me back up about it, and I was like, oh right, that person. Oh right, them.
Yeah, well, like I said, you were the only other person that, besides in the, I think maybe it was the Worm Chat or something like that. We had like, you know, you were the only other person that knew about them. Really, it was like us two that were the ones that were reaching out to them and whatnot. So it's like, I guess they'll know. But what is it? So we're gonna compromise here, and instead of talking about our acid stories on a racist podcast, we'll talk about them here. So what we're like, did you know of like any stories that we're gonna bring on the show if we did go on there?
I was gonna bring a story on, yes.
Okay, let us have it.
Oh god. Okay, so. Okay, I don't even know where to begin with this. Basically, I'll give you guys the shortened version.
Okay.
So basically, I fell on like a weird time in my life back in last December, where I was like using a lot of drugs and like going on a lot of benders because I was like going through a pretty rough time. And one of these times, I was hanging out with somebody from Tinder actually, and whoever's listening, don't do drugs off of Tinder with someone that you just met on Tinder. just don't do it.
Some good advice to learn there.
Some good learning experience. So yeah, I was already off of a fake Molly pill because that was my my drug of choice was pressed Molly pills that I didn't know were pressed until months after, where I came back to like look back on it, and I was like, that was not Molly, that was fucking meth, bro. Like, I don't know what was going on there. But anyway, yeah, so I was off of my fake Molly pill, and I invited this person over, and they were like, oh, I have 6 tabs of acid right now, by the way. And I was like, fucking load it up, bro. Like, fucking give it to me, dude. So I took, oh, they had 7. So we took 3.5 each.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember much of this night, but one of the highlights of the night was that I was naked for whatever fucking reason.
Okay.
Don't know where that came from. Well, I do, but anyway, things happen. But so I was naked as fuck, and I was like having one of those moments on psychedelics where you're like, nothing is real. We live in a simulation. This shit, none of this matters. I can do whatever I want. This is life. Fuck this shit. I was having like a GTA moment, so I ran outside.
Naked?
And yes.
Oh yes.
It's like when you switch to Trevor and you're like naked on top of a mountain.
Yes.
Right, but my mountain was downtown, like suburban, like rundown, like disgusting, like definitely shouldn't have been barefoot in the barefoot is one thing, but like naked's a whole another thing because there's like needles and like broken glass and like just not good. Like, so anyway, I'm running around in the street. People are honking at me, screaming at me as they drive by, and I'm just like, this isn't real. None of this is real. So I'm having a moment where I'm like, holy shit, I have a million lives. Like, it doesn't matter if I die right now. So I ran out in front of a car, and
Jesus.
And it turns out, I think that whoever was looking out for me that night, whatever higher power, really had my back, because it was a cop car, the one that I ran out in front of.
Oh, that's great.
And,
that's even better.
Of all the human beings that happened to be in that town that night, driving on that road, I happened to run out in front of a
cop car.
Police officer. Yes. So he got out of the car, of course, as you would if there's a naked person running in front of your car. So basically, before he could even ask me any questions, I went into fight or flight mode because it was a police officer, and I just started whooping his ass, bro. Like,
you fought him?
Oh my god!
Jesus Christ!
I just ran. I had no critical thinking skills in this moment because I was like so fucking out of it that I was like, oh my god, I have to either run or fight him. Like, it's a cop. Like, what am I supposed to do? So I just like ran up and just started like throwing punches, just loading into
Jesus
this guy.
Christ.
He was like, what the fuck? He was like, what the fuck is going on right now, bro? Like, Jesus Christ. So he called for backup, and there was like 10 cops on me, and I was literally just like squirming around, like trying to like keep them off of me, but like I am a small person and there's 10 cops on me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so they got me to the ground and cuffed me, and I tried to get up to run away, and they tased me.
Oh my god, dude.
Holy shit.
And
Ooh.
I was on acid, so it felt kind of good.
Oh,
But anyway, so yeah, once they had me there, they kept asking me my name, and I just kept screaming Butane Tom over and over and over
amazing.
again.
So your username.
Yeah, that was my old, on my last account before I got suspended. My name was Butane Tom.
That's hilarious.
And they were like, what's your name? And I was like, Butane Tom, and like just kept screaming it. And they were like, oh my god, we need to get this person to a fucking hospital, dude. Like, this is beyond our control right now. Like, holy fuck. So they basically just like tossed me in the back of the ambulance and like Thorazined me, and I like woke up in the hospital a few hours later, like handcuffed to the bed, still tripping.
Oh man, what a crazy way to wake up.
So did you face any charges?
I thank God that I am white, because no, I did not.
There is definitely some sort of higher power there if you manage to walk away from that after, because assaulting a police officer while high.
Assaulting a police officer naked, resisting arrest, like I thank God every day. And like I have like this like fear that like creeps over me sometimes that like I'm gonna get a call and they're like, hello, like, is this blah blah blah?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like you're like these are your charges. Like, you have to show up to court. Like, I have like this like fear that like lingers over me that like it's not over.
Yeah.
How long
Like-
ago was it?
It was only like it was December 21st of 2020.
Oh fuck! So it's almost a year
Oh.
ago
What's
Yeah.
okay? Statute of limitations
On
for assaulting.
now. Law school graduate
That would
Turbo
never
here
have
is
been
gonna give us
typed in before.
give us his
Yeah.
his take.
Punishable. Wait. I don't see.
Well, and so maybe the reason why they didn't bring charges against you at first was because they couldn't get your name, like they just couldn't identify you. It's like, how do you bring
I
charges
honestly
against someone that if you
probably-
can't get a hold of like who they are and like what
Yeah.
everything.
I mean, they could have gone this person's obviously already having a wild enough night.
Yeah,
but
I
cops
was
are
literally,
rarely like merciful like that.
Well, I thought
Yeah.
I'm surprised after hitting a cop that you didn't at least have a broken arm on the takedown.
Oh
They
Yeah,
normally
I'm
like to
surprised.
get their shots in.
Honestly, I don't know how I got away like so scotch free like that. Like, I barely had any like injuries or anything. Like, I did have like a badly sprained ankle, but I honestly think that's because I fell down the stairs as I was running
Yeah.
outside.
No, maybe
But,
the cop that you just started swinging at to might have been kind of like a pussy or something like that. Like just not one of the fighter cops.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
That was
I do not know. Honestly, I think it's because like, he assumed that I was female, which is a fine assumption
Mhm.
because he did not know me and I was naked. But yeah. So like, I think like it was just like this like naked woman like who's obviously like out of their fucking wits, like just like coming at him.
Oh,
Like he was
yeah.
like, all right. He's like, clearly there's more to the story than this person just wants to attack me. Like,
Okay, so yeah, and I didn't even take that into account because I don't
Yeah, that
have
makes
I don't
sense.
have any visual idea of what you look like. So yeah, if it's like if you do look like just like a naked woman, it's like in their eyes, it's like okay, we got to take this person down without being as hard. Because
Yeah,
if you were
I-
like if you were like a dude, like just like clearly a big burly ass
if I
dude,
was
they
like
would have
a
broken your
cis
arm.
dude,
Oh
if
yeah.
I was a cis dude, they probably would have fucking like shot me or something. Like,
Oh,
I would
yeah.
not have gotten away with that.
I
Dude.
think that explains like a bunch more right there. It's like being like a white
Yeah.
woman. It's like yeah, they're gonna be delicate.
Yeah, and like
Probably
I
thought you
think
were like getting away from something.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably honestly,
They're like
probably
yeah, they probably thought you were like you had been like attacked or something like that.
Big
Yeah.
trouble.
No, but like I think also because like when there was so many cops and like I was like a naked like technically by the law a woman, like I think they were like we don't want to like touch this person the wrong way. Like I don't know how to grab this person.
That's
So I
another
was
this
thing.
is
They
stuff,
could
like,
lose their
have to do.
yeah, they could lose their
Yeah.
job pretty quickly too if they're like if say you like remembered a cop like touching you the wrong way, all you have to do is like talk, go to that precinct or make one call and it's like they could lose their job.
Yeah, exactly. So like they were like trying to catch me and I was literally like a slippery little worm. Like I was just like running like all around them like trying like not to get caught and then like finally like this fucking woman cop literally just like slammed me into the fucking ground and like
Oh, so
cuffed me.
they got the woman to take you down.
Yeah, they were like, we need
That's
to call
funny.
the bitch. They're like, where is she? Where's our token cop woman?
They're like, we need to
She's
get
just
the
like
woman
a
over here to take her
mercenary.
down. That's funny.
She only tackles other like running females.
So Turbo, did you come up with something?
With what? Oh, statutes of limitations?
Yeah.
In most states, even a misdemeanor, they at least have a year to get you, and it hasn't been a year. So,
So they
I'm
could-
but on
Thanks.
the other
Thanks,
hand,
Turbo.
on the other
Thanks for
hand,
the reassurance there.
they had you at the jail, correct? Like they
No,
had-
I only went to the hospital. I never went to jail, not once.
But they could have
You'll be
gotten you if they wanted.
You'll be
to.
fine.
I think
They-
you'll
Yeah,
be
I'll
alright.
be good. I'll be good. It just like it's like a fear of mine, especially when I like tell people the story because I'm like, oh fuck, I'm like, there's still a chance because I'm always like, oh thank God I got off, thank God I got off, but I'm like, I'm waiting for that call. Like,
Yeah, and
I'm
watch like the
waiting.
one of two people that listen to the show be like one of those cops. Be like, whoa, my luck.
Oh, you think you got away?
You think you got away
they're like,
from
holy
it?
fuck, it's Butane Tom.
Out of the two people that listen to this show, one of them
At least so.
happens to be an officer on duty that night.
It's like pussy cop, and like you retelling it is just like PTSDing like the worst night of his life.
Oh yeah.
And he's like,
No, literally, especially since it was like such a small town. Like I know they all remember.
Oh yeah, small town cops. Yeah, like they all have those
Oh,
stories.
yeah.
You know that
They
they're
talk
like
about
sitting in
that.
the break room still telling that story.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, let's talk about Butane Tom. They're like, we got to talk about Butane Tom.
Yeah.
Hey, Phil, did you hear about Butane Tom yet? Oh no, I'll tell it again.
That's like the.
I'll tell it again for the 4th time this week.
That's like the rookie story. They break the ice with the
Yeah.
rookie by telling them Butane Tom.
They're like, be careful, bro. There's bitches out here running naked in the streets on drugs trying to attack you.
Yeah.
You gotta keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah. Got to stay sharp of mind.
No, honestly, like, that was probably nothing for them. Like, the town is, like, full of just, like, crackheads and, like, weird little, like, crimes like that aren't really necessarily considered crimes, just, like, weird shit. So,
Weird
like,
shit going
yeah,
on.
so they're probably like, oh, another day at the office.
Got some weird shit today.
Yeah, I had some, go home, they're like, honey, I had some weird shit happen to me today. Like, I don't know, just one for the books. But, yeah, so I think I'll be good. And even if they do call me, I'm moving to Portland and
Oh yeah.
in like not even 10 days.
So they're gonna get you.
I'll-
Yeah, they can't get you cross state. I don't think.
I don't
They
think
would
so.
really have to be motivated.
Like,
don't
especially
even
like if
offer
I like
murder.
fucking murdered somebody, like, yeah, but like it wasn't like it was like that big of like a crime. So I feel like they would just be like, all right, whatever, fuck it, dude. Like,
Look-
it's your life.
Look at it this way. Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines and
Yeah.
murdered someone, and he got away with it. I think
You know
he'll
what?
be okay.
I'm not scared anymore. Shout out Kyle Rittenhouse for that. Like, you really made it possible. You really made anything possible. You really proved that anything is possible.
You proved that anything is possible.
Like a Nike ad, and it's just him in blue gloves.
Yeah. He's got Nike Nike sponsored by Kyle Rittenhouse.
Just to do it.
He shows up like decked out in Nike merch.
Then what they do is, so you know how like Colin Kaepernick, they were gonna unveil like a 4th of July like special Nike shoe, and they had to take it down because he said it was racist or whatever. At them to have an American
Yeah.
shoe. So every time that they have one of those American ideas, they can't throw it on Colin, they just throw it on Kyle. They have Kyle be the one to do it.
Sides it to death.
They have Kyle Rittenhouse do the 4th of July
Yeah, Colin Kaepernick.
shoes.
Hates America. Kyle Rittenhouse loves America.
Yeah.
You want to know what's so insane to me and literally feels like it's not real? The way that they like pulled out the gun in court
Yeah.
and was like pointing like at the jury. Like, what was that? Like, what like why? Like, why'd you have to do that?
I was watching, like, they had like some cop come every time someone wanted to touch it. They had some cop come and like check to make sure it's clear. But I don't know. I don't understand any of the points that they were making. Like, why you?
No, they just wanted to hold a gun
So
for fun.
you said they checked to make it clear, or you?
to kill the man.
So you told me you're saying that they checked to make it was clear. So are you telling me that like no one checked to see if the gun was loaded either? So there could have been just like a loaded firearm in the middle of the jury, and some guys were pointing it at the jury.
Now they've got like
If
a zip
that
tie
shit
around
went
it or
off-
whatever. Like,
Oh my
it's-
god.
it's like impossible. But I can't believe they were pointing it at all. Like,
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, they don't do that
Imagine if
normally.
Imagine if that shit like went off. That would literally be like American fucking history.
I mean, like,
Alec Baldwin feels vindicated all of a sudden.
yeah,
they let Alec Baldwin off. They're like, you know what?
yeah.
We
You're
got
out
more
there.
important shit to
happens.
worry about.
Well, it's like you didn't see someone like stepping on someone's neck at the Derek Chauvin trial, you know, like proving how. It's like they just don't do stuff like that normally. Like they don't show you how the person killed someone by like acting it out in court.
He just wanted to hold the cool gun.
Yeah, no, that was
the
for
gun
fun.
that killed somebody.
Yeah.
He
That was
saw it in the
literally just for
evidence
fun.
room. He saw it in the evidence room. He's like, now how can I get that thing in my hands? I gotta figure out a way to work this in.
You know that he was
So
like
cool.
talking with the police department. He's like, listen, after this case is done, can I please buy this gun? He's like, can I please? Like just trying every
I have
possible
this
way he can get his hands on it.
Does
So that
Kyle
was,
get
like-
it back?
He should.
Yeah, that's
I
a
mean,
good
if he got
question.
all
Does
the
he get it
cases.
back?
Okay, so
I
like
bet
for
he
example,
does.
if somebody broke into your house and you took your legally owned firearm and stopped them with that gun, you should get it back, right?
But he
Yeah.
didn't legally own it, right?
No, I think
It
someone
wasn't
gave it
his,
to him.
but
It was the Dominique kid, and he's getting like charged for it or whatever. So they may confiscate it when that kid gets charged.
Yeah.
Oh God, is that going to be another
oh,
trial?
so the person who gave him a gun is
Yeah.
actually in
Yeah, there
trouble.
was his friend was like 18 and bought it, and he was gonna hold on to it until he turned 18. And they went out and shot it together a couple times, and then I guess when all this shit went down, he was like, "All right, I'm gonna meet you here, and we're gonna go do this."
Well, in a lot of states, that's not illegal to buy and hold a gun for a minor until
No,
they're
that's
18.
it's fine.
I
As
mean,
long as
that's
they
what-
don't possess it or like own it.
Where is he
I mean-
from?
He's from
Wisconsin.
He's from
That sounds like a
Illinois,
very
but it's
Wisconsin
like
thing
a
if someone
town.
would do
I was just about to say, yeah, like of course, like
Of course, it's
he's from
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It happened in Wisconsin, but he's from Illinois, but it's like a town that's right on the border of Wisconsin.
Hmm.
Very Midwest behavior.
Very Midwest of him.
So Midwest of him.
I'm still waiting for us to have like our next like minority shooter. Like, look at it this way: we were talking about the last episode how there was finally
You're
like
looking forward to hold on.
like a black-
You're looking
Yeah.
forward to shootings happening.
No, hey, look at it this
I
way.
can't wait.
Shootings in America
Yeah, I'm
are a
right
dime
there.
a dozen. At least we can the least we can do is make a game out of it.
Yeah.
Like a
No, I
Deadpool.
get you.
Yeah, like so we were talking about last episode about how like it took them way too long to have like a black mass shooter. Like we finally have achieved a black shooter. So what I'm saying is we now need to have a trans shooter. That's the next
It'll
step
be-
forward.
It'll
Oh,
be
we need
me.
an extra.
Please don't
Talking
say
about
that on our show.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh my God.
That's
all
gonna
it
literally.
needs is
I think that would
mass
actually get us
voice
into
call.
trouble.
It will
That's
not be
America's
me.
battle.
I'm just kidding. I was just joking. It will not be me. Whoever authorities are listening, it was just a joke. Please don't come to my house.
Yeah,
It's
please
all
do
in
not.
very long.
You're gonna go on a shooting on our
I'm just
show.
kidding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But yeah, so a trans shooter would be the most PC thing.
Or like a non-binary.
Non-binary. Yeah, let's go
shooter.
safe with it. Do my non-binary because then it allows like everyone to establish a connection with it.
Exactly.
What it needs
Kinda
to be is it
beautiful in
needs
a
to be a
way.
non-binary person. So, what was it in Florida? Some guy like shot up a gay bar. So we need a non-binary person to shoot up like a Westboro Baptist church.
Yeah, we need a trans person to shoot up a synagogue.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. That makes it very hard for people to comprehend. They're like,
Yeah.
they're
Wait,
non-binary, but they're anti-Semitic. So which is it?
People in a real pickle.
Yeah, it'd be the same thing if it was like a mosque as well.
Do you guys remember back in like 2017, 2018 when there was literally like a school shooting like once every like 2 weeks? Like what the fuck was that?
That's what I was
popping
talking
off
about though.
pretty
These
good.
shootings they happen so frequently now that like people act shocked when they happen. They're like, I can't believe something like this would happen.
Yeah.
It's because they sensationalize it. It's all copycats. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I kind of see that. Well, I'm the biggest loser at school, but I won't. People will know who I am if I do this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
okay, I
relate.
guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Wait.
So is it
Well, it doesn't
always
really
the
make sense.
losers at school that are the ones doing the shootings? Has there
They
never?
seem to
Well,
be pretty
There's
big
never been like a
fucking losers.
popular kid who's like,
Yeah,
no.
like
So,
They're-
high
they're-
school quarterback.
they're
so
Like
the first time was probably what, Columbine?
yeah,
Those
Yeah.
guys
were
were
losers.
not. Those guys were not losers in school.
Oh, they
Everybody
were.
that
They
went
were
to school
definitely
with them,
losers.
they were kind of like middle of the pack, and
Okay.
They were like
They
the
weren't
goth
part of
kids or whatever.
dude, shut up. They weren't part of the trench coat group like everybody said. They weren't like super weird, and they didn't even cite like bullying or anything like that as their reason.
Hmm.
They just
so they
wanted
were
to
just
kill.
like sadistic is like what
Yeah,
they
they
do.
just wanted to kill.
Okay, so
Wow.
there we go. So we've already had a middle of the road shooter. We've had some like loser shooters, But has there ever been like a high school quarterback homecoming king shooter? Like some guy who's like on the top of the world and he's just like, I'm gonna go shoot on my fucking school after they gave me homecoming king award.
Yeah, that'll never happen.
No,
those guys get pussy.
Yeah, those guys are like, yeah, like why would you? Unless if like the girl was gonna like Me Too him or something like that, and that way he needed to silence some people. That's the only way. That's the only way a popular guy's gonna like go on a shooting is to silence somebody from Me Tooing him and ruining his high school career. That's a good concept right there.
Yeah.
That's a great
the winner shooter, but it's just because he's trying to like save his own reputation.
He goes to court. He was like, "Nah, she was gonna Me Too me. That's the only thing. That was it. I just had to silence some people. I didn't know I'd get caught."
Some pretty damning text messages, and I needed to get rid of them any way possible.
Any way possible. Yeah. They're like, sir, you realize that like if this did go down, like if she did Me Too you, you probably would have like been all right. He's like, I just couldn't
gotten less charges.
Yeah, it's like I just couldn't take the chances, man. He's like, I can't take those chances. She was gonna Me Too me. She was texting me up saying that she missed her latest period. Man, I can't take risks like that.
I'm a high school quarterback. I'm supposed to go to fucking Harvard. What do you want from me?
Oh yeah, no. It's not only is he a high school quarterback, he's like the one football player that ends up going to Harvard, rather than like going to like Alabama or something like that, one of the big football schools.
I was gonna say if you play football at Harvard, you suck.
Yeah,
but
I don't know anything about it.
World-class education.
I remember there was a kid in high school that I knew was like, this is gonna sound horrible, but this is just like I knew this. Just deep down in my soul, it was this one kid who I knew was like struggling in all of his classes because I would be in like a lot of his classes and whatnot. But he played football and he was going to Harvard on a football scholarship. And I'm like, part of me deep down was like, dude, it is 100% because you are black that you were going to Harvard. I was like, this guy had like the worst grades I had known.
Was he actually going?
Yeah, he was going. Like he actually like got like a full ride scholarship to Harvard. I remember how much it shocked me that he managed to get that.
No, there's a term for it actually. There's a lot of like black professors that are against Harvard having those like those minority quotas because what they do is like what you're saying. These people that would have done well in like a state school. Get these scholarships or like get the opportunity to take out huge debt to go to Harvard, and a lot of them don't make it, so they're just saddled with this crazy debt, and they don't even have the fucking degree. There's like an actual term for it. There's a bunch of people that are.
Well, yeah, all those Ivy League schools, like they have like the quotas with, like you just said, they have quotas, and that's kind of one of been those big like debates. It's like, is it that really a good thing or a bad thing? Because
I think it could be both.
It could be both because then what's his fucking name? The guy who got arrested for helping families get their kids into good schools. Do you know what I'm talking about? That was like a whole scandal.
Oh yeah, the hot chick from Full House.
It was no, it wasn't just. It was like this one guy who like it was this one guy. He had all these friends in various universities, and what he would do is like these rich families. He would call it the side entrance into the universities, where they would put like $6 million down under to him, and that he would get someone in the university to write them a letter of recommendation and offer like a scholarship. And it would always be these like outlandish things. So it'd be like some person who has never played water polo in their life all of a sudden is going to like Harvard on a water polo scholarship. It'd be stuff like that.
I remember there was one for rowing that was like pretty laughable. They had never done like crew before.
Netflix has a documentary on it, and like there's like a video of them like one family like staging their son in like their pool with like the water polo ball and the outfit and everything like that, and like staging these photos to make it look like they have like this career in this sport.
It's such a random sport too.
Well, I think that was the point, is that it's meant to be like these less known programs that they can get away with. Like water polo isn't big, so it's like, why not say that they're a star water polo player? Who's going to question that?
Yeah, there's not really a whole bunch to back it up, so
Yeah.
they can't really be proven wrong.
Same thing with like rowing, is what like
Yeah.
Chicken just said.
Yeah, it's wild that people would pay all that money and it was like, it wasn't for Harvard, it was like for fucking USC.
Yeah, it was just for like schools of choice. It was like
it's like a good private school, but like it's not fucking Harvard.
It was always school. One was like SMU. It was always schools that were just like, it was just this kid's first choice, and like they just didn't have the ability. Like, maybe they didn't have the grades, or it was just too competitive or something like that. But it's just like, oh, I just want to go to this school, and my parents are rich enough to where they'll pay this dude to like get my kid in.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It's just so crazy that people are convinced. It was like funny, these kids aren't gonna go to like some engineering department and like cruise and like become these geniuses. Like you said, they're all like kind of stupid.
But yeah, you see the guys, they're like mimbos. They're just like fuck boys or whatever. They're like guys that like they just wouldn't make it into the school.
I just like don't understand, like, if you have that much money, like, why don't you just pay for your kid to go to school?
Well, the point is I think they are paying for them to go to school. The point is that they're getting them into their school of choice.
Oh, okay, so
yeah, it's these kids who are wanting to get into these schools like USC or whatever, and they won't be able to get in because it's too competitive or something like that. So they pay this guy that's like Rick, what's his fucking name? It was like Rick Slater or whatever, that like that would like go to these universities and have friends, and he would basically give them money for their program. So like the water polo thing, he would give the water polo team money that he received, so they would write this person like a letter of recommendation or whatever to get
like
them
a
in.
bribe.
Okay, all
yeah,
right.
like
that
so
makes
they're
sense.
paying this guy to bribe schools to get these people's kids in. Yeah.
Okay, that makes
What a
that makes
very like first world problem kind of thing.
Yeah, and the guy would go
this
around to
would
these families and claim he was like a tutor. So he would be so people would be like, "Oh, I just tutor this family's kid or whatever." It's weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
That's so strange.
Mm-hmm.
So fucking weird.
Yeah, colleges are messed up, man.
Understand going to be a doctor or whatever. There's a lot of wasted money.
Mm-hmm. Well,
College is like,
do what?
I was gonna say, like, college is like such like a weird concept, like, especially since they're like so fucking expensive for no reason. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I just like don't understand like why you would like send a bunch of people like who are young like out into the world with like so much debt.
Yeah. Well, and so college went from being like this elite thing where like, oh, if you would only go to college if you're like trying to be a doctor, like colleges always are on that level where it's like you're getting into the medical profession, so you go to college, and then the vast majority of people can just get a regular job and be like able to support their families and not have to go through this. And it's become more and more like essential where it's like now you have to have a college degree, otherwise you're not going to make it in the world.
There's like no logic behind it, because like colleges used to be these centralized areas of information and education, but now you can go on YouTube and learn about a subject, probably just as in depth as taking an hour lecture or whatever. Probably more in depth.
Did any of you guys go to college?
I'm in college right now.
I did. I graduated.
Yeah.
I both got the degree. I had the experience.
Yeah, and then I'm moving on to I'm working at moving on to grad schools right now, because what I'm studying it kind of requires me to do it. So even more debt for me.
I think I'm gonna go to college like this upcoming fall, but like it's just such like a fucked up and like warped like
I'm telling
concept.
you would probably, honestly, especially, it sounds stupid, but like being trans with these companies that are trying to get like more they're trying to be more inclusive, stuff like that, I guarantee you would kill if you went to like a trade school and then like went to some of these companies like having like a labor job, because they would eat, like you would have no problem finding a job, I feel like.
So you're saying it's like reverse discrimination?
Yeah, it's literally reverse discrimination. Like we're at this point now where it's like when you're applying to jobs, it definitely feels like any little thing that you have, whether it's like you're a religious minority, you know, sexuality or whatever, like those do help in getting jobs. And that doesn't even, I'm not saying that as like that's a bad thing either. It's just like that's just how it is now. Like colleges, companies look out for that.
That is honestly a good point, and I will definitely use the corrupted system to my advantage.
Oh yeah, you could probably get by going to like a community college, getting an associate's, and then doing that. Like you don't have to go to some big like state school or something.
The community college route is the most financially sound route. Like yeah, like
I paid for my 2 years out of pocket.
You can transfer the last year and get a nice shiny degree.
Yeah.
Whatever college you want.
My first 2 years of my undergraduate, I went to a community college and I just paid it out of pocket. It was like $900 a semester.
So legit.
Yeah. It's like if you want to get like a big degree from like a big school, just go to community college first and then transfer.
Yeah,
Saves
honestly,
you like tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And it's the same damn degree everyone gets.
Oh yeah. No one looks at literally companies do not care what your academic career was like. They just care to see if you have the degree. Like if they see a degree from like the University of Texas at Austin or something like that, like some nice ass school, they'll just be like, oh, that's cool, you got a degree there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
graduate from Harvard after transferring in, it doesn't matter, you're still a Harvard graduate.
I'll definitely keep that in mind because I was like stressing the fuck out, like trying to like think about like college shit, because like I'm 20, but like I just was kind of like after high school, like I was like, nah, I'm not fucking going to college. But like now I'm at the point where I'm like, wow, you really can't do shit if you don't like have a fucking college degree.
There's so much unneeded stress behind it that it's insane.
Oh, I still have nightmares about being late for classes and stuff like that.
I have nightmares now while in college being late for classes and forgetting shit. Like it happens.
It's so messed up.
I'll wake up and be like, oh, did I forget to turn in this essay that's worth 25% of my grade, which means I would have failed a class that already cost me thousands of dollars?
Gosh.
It's like, that shit wears on your what is it, your mental wellness.
Your subconscious.
Yeah, your mental health.
It's like gambling on yourself constantly.
It actually is, yeah. Like, unless if you're very confident, like for someone like me who's focusing on like history stuff, like if I take history classes, I'm usually pretty confident that like, oh, I'll be fine. But if I take like a math class, it's like, oh no, that's gambling. I'm bad at math. It's like I'm gambling at bad odds with my money.
Thank God I don't have to worry about that anymore.
I just like the thing about it is like I went to a fucking alternative school that had like 90 kids and we literally did like middle school work. So like I am so like inept when it like academically. So like I feel like I would suffer if I went to like a college. Like I would absolutely like be like so fucking behind just constantly because like I don't know shit about shit. Like I really don't.
Again,
unless it's like math, there's a lot of stuff that people are learning for the first time.
Yeah. Go to community and like community colleges too. Like, so I mentioned earlier, like I'm horrible at math. I went to the community college I went to. They offered like high school level math classes for college credit. So I just took those.
Okay.
It's like I don't need math for my degree. So it's like, I'll just take the easiest fucking thing that's supposed to be like offered to people that are younger than myself and then get the grade that I need and move on with my life.
Okay. These are all some very, very good things. Q.
Yeah.
I needed that.
Life coaching on a podcast right now.
Turbo, you got anything to add?
Yeah, you got some life coach tips for Propane?
I haven't been listening. I honestly haven't been paying attention.
That's okay.
We
Like, I got what I
sounded stupid, so I wasn't part of the conversation.
Oh, we were giving
got what I
Propane some
need.
life
I'm good.
tips on college. Well, we're at 1:23. We can call it here. Thanks for coming on, Tim. We were talking earlier that this is a milestone episode for us. Not only are you our first guest, but we just crossed the 10 episode mark, which I guess means that we're not going to crash and burn yet. So,
well, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. I had a blast.
for sure.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for coming on. That story was absolutely insane.
We're gonna
Yeah,
we're gonna
It
clip
kept
that.
getting crazier.
We're gonna clip that real quick. Throw it on the Twitter.
If that's okay.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Where can people find you, Tim? What's your ad?
My at on Twitter is at resin lungs. And that's me. I'm Propane Tim.
For sure. You're welcome on anytime if you have more stories like that.
I got a fuck ton of them. My life's a fucking shit show.
Hey, it sounds like one hell of a ride though. I think that's what matters now. Most people are more concerned with like enjoying themselves today than like being successful.
Exactly. You know what? You just gotta fucking live like you're gonna die in your 30s.
Honestly, that doesn't sound too bad, dying in my 30s. Saves you
Same.
a lot of time. You know, maybe get a kid or two out there in the world and then just die and they're no longer your
orphan
problem. Yeah, you know, but like, hey, you at least like did your part, continued the human race or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Go out like a wasp or whatever, or a bee where you fuck or
You fuck and then die afterwards. You just bust and you just have a heart attack. I did have a tweet that was like, man, the world would be a much better place if you could just like find some woman on the side of the road and both of y'all just mutually agree to mate, and then just like you forget you ever even met her. Like you both go on with your lives.
For the woman.
Never see each other again, and you can just live the rest of your life knowing that like you like preserve the species. You know, we're just like mating
That's
like
sucks
animals.
as a woman though, because then you just leave her with a fucking kid. Never see it
money.
again.
Hey, that's nature right there.
Diapers ain't cheap.
Hey, that's nature. I'm not God here. I'm not saying how these little creatures come into being. I'm just saying that we gotta keep making them.
You're just describing a sperm bank that you actually get
Hey,
to have sex with a woman.
I'll create my own sperm bank, but it's just all my sperm. And people are welcome to it. It's at dirt cheap prices too. For sure. All right. Well, yeah, we can end it here. This is at the Suck Dictator. I forget what ad I have nowadays. The Suck Dictator. Yeah, I think that's right. See how long it takes them to realize it.
At not BDSM chicken.
Yeah. Oh fuck! You got suspended within the last time that we recorded, didn't you?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. What's your ad, Turbo?
Stupid.
They already know what my ad is.
All right. Fuck you.
Listening.
Not doing the fucking ending.
Cocaine poops.
Cocaine boops. All right.